KidsLife is proudly brought to you by Antler, the champions of lightweight luggage, Go Travel Products, and Gainsborough Photography Studio, Adelaide.
Hi and welcome to another episode of Kids Life, a parenting program that aims to be informative, educational, adventurous and fun. We're on location in Adelaide with Gainsborough Studio, and a little bit later on in the program we'll find out the benefits of hosting a photo shoot from your very own home. But first up, Kristen Bauer takes us to Phillip Island in Victoria and we discover one of Australia's most popular tourist attractions.
Behind us is some raging, seething mass of water, and underneath the water, some really cute and beautiful penguins. Ash, tell us a little bit about these penguins. Why are they so significant to Phillip Island?
Yeah, well, I guess Phillip Island's one of the few spots where you can easily come down as a member of the public and see them in what's basically their natural state.
And now these penguins come in every single night.
Yeah, you get penguins every night. The numbers will vary because they spend most of their life in the ocean, which most people probably don't realise, and only a minority of their time on land. So numbers coming in does change. Every night we get at least some penguins across the beach.
And so obviously we've got the people behind us coming down to watch. You can bring the kids, the grandkids. Do you get to play with the penguins, or do you just watch from afar?
Penguins are cute to look at, but despite how small they are, they have a very nasty bite. If you could get a close-up on my hand, you'd see the scars. So we don't suggest playing with them, but you can get pretty close. They're used to people at least here, even though they're wild.
Now I understand these particular penguins, the little ones of the bunch, aren't they?
They are. There's 17 different types of penguins around the world, and ours are by far the smallest. They're only about 1 kilogram, 33 centimetres tall. The other end of the scale you've got the emperor. In Antarctica it's up to 40 plus kilograms and over a metre tall.
Now do they mind that we're not dressed up for the occasion? Or?
Well no, they come in dressed up, we're just watching them. So
fantastic, yeah. Beautiful. Now can you tell us just a little bit about the history of what's happened here at Phillip Island and how it's affected the penguins and what's come about to have this establishment here for the penguins? How has that safeguarded them with their life being in their habitat?
Yeah, no worries. People started coming in the 1920s in, I suppose, a semi-organised fashion, which had positive and negative effects. The negative effect was, say, we had some really big crowds in the 1970s, too much for the area to handle, and the penguins were being loved to death. Yeah. But what it did mean in the end is, as the penguins started disappearing on the rest of the Victorian coastline, we had enough public pressure here to say to the state government, we really need to look after these penguins, and enough financial pressure because it was bringing in tourism dollars to get some help. And people coming here, because we're a not-for-profit organisation, has actually in the end helped save the penguins in this area. They wouldn't be here if people weren't coming to watch.
How do we view them now?
You've got a number of different options. It's high tide now, but on a low tide night, we'll set up a fair bit of rope so you can sit on the beach, you can sit on the stands behind us, and then we've got tours for people who really want to get that behind the scenes look. Maybe come in the skybox here, watch the penguins from outside the weather, just watch and have a bite to eat in a cuppa. Or then we've got some tours that go to other spots on Phillip Island where we still get penguins but aren't the main beach if you want the real adventure, where you watch them with night vision and get a ranger down there with you.
Night vision goggles and everything?
Yeah, you feel like Commander down there, yeah. No rolling down the beach, but you feel like it.
Fantastic. So yeah, it's a whole experience coming down and seeing the penguins. You don't
heaps of different options. Yeah.
Great. So if you're going to visit the bottom half of Victoria, make sure you come and check out the Penguin Parade. Might be a little bit chilly if you come during winter, so make sure you rug up. Now, Trevor, what is Churchill Island?
Oh, Churchill Island is actually in Western Port Bay. We're 150 acres of land. Now, we're open 365 days a year, and if you come to Churchill Island, the sort of things you're going to see is we actually do a farm tour every day here. So you can come and have come to the cafe, have lunch, and you can have a picnic in the gardens here.
It's great for all the family as
Yeah,
well.
it's a great family place,
Yeah.
and you can spend all day here. There's animals, sheep in the yard, there's the horses there, the Clydesdales, and they can have a pat and feed them and so forth. So it's sort of pretty hands-on.
Trevor, can you run through the day activities? Exactly what do we do when we rock up on Churchill Island? What happens?
Well, if you come here in the morning, you can rock up here at the actual cafe is open at 9:30 in the morning. So, and the actual farm opens at 10 o'clock.
Kick off with a coffee?
Come in, have a coffee, have breakfast, and then come into the farm at 11 o'clock. We do our first cow milking, and that goes for about half an hour, so everybody can have a bit of a go, depending on how many people there. Then you can come back down here to the cafe, or if you bought your own picnic lunch, you can have a picnic lunch, and then come back around about 1:45, around that time, and then we'll do the first cow milk, another cow milking at 2:10, and then at 3:30 we do a blacksmith demonstration, so people can actually see how we used to make horseshoes back in the old days.
Swords?
Oh, we can do that one if you like.
Yes.
Made of horseshoes. So just to give a bit of history on blacksmithing and things, and then we'll move across to the shearing shed, and we same thing there. We go through the history of shearing, and there's a lot of history of here in Australia as far as sheep go and wool industry and things like that. And it goes for about 15 minutes or so. We come out of there and we go over and we do actually a sheepdog demonstration. So we got the dogs out and we round up some sheep, and
good one.
And we've got one dog who loves chase and round up ducks and turkeys. So sometimes we get the ducks out as well, and that's a bit of entertainment for people. And explain something about the history of how the dogs first come to Australia, the border collies, and the history as they come through. And so it's basically you get a bit of a history lesson.
Yeah,
on the day.
Action-packed day too, as well.
And then and then you can come back and have an afternoon tea if you wish. And we normally close around about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And some days I've got to chase people out because they don't want to leave.
Set up camp.
Yeah, they set up. Yeah, it sort of gets that on a really good day or good autumn day or things like that. And when the weather's great, it's very hard for me to work too. I can tell you, like you just get
just sit down under a tree and take it all in. I can imagine. Yeah,
and you're trying to make your staff, and they're looking at you. Well, you're not doing a lot, are they?
The boss isn't doing much. So sit down.
It really gets you under your skin here. It's a really fantastic place to visit, and it's really a jewel in the crown. A lot of people don't know Churchill Island's here.
A lot of people know the surf.
Yeah, they go to surf. They come to Phillip Island. There's people been here coming to Phillip Island for years, and then all of a sudden, Churchill, where's that? And we drive past it as you come through New Haven. So, it's still a pretty well kept secret at the moment.
Tell us a little bit about the history. There's a lot of history in this place as well.
Lieutenant Grant came down here in 1801 from Sydney, and he was looking for more land to develop back in those days. And he came here to Churchill Island, and a friend of him called John Churchill actually gave him some seeds like wheat and corn and things like that. Lieutenant actually planted the seeds here on the island, and so he named it after his mate Churchill. So that's how it come to be Churchill Island.
What a mate's for.
Yeah, exactly. And one of our most famous owners was Samuel Amos, who was actually Lord Mayor of Melbourne back in 1872, and he bought this island for his getaway, where he'd come down and get away from the rat race in Melbourne. It used to take him 3 days to get here.
now it takes you an hour on the freeway.
Yeah, about an hour and a half. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good run from Melbourne now to here.
Yeah.
So he had it for quite a few years, and a progression of owners right up to about 1976, and then it was sold to the it was called National Land Trust. Bought it then, and then the Phillip Island Nature Park, we took it on back about 1996. More people are getting through. Actually, our numbers are going up a bit, which is good. That way we can spend more money on the heritage, because anything we do here, we keep it the same as much as we could, like wooden fences, wooden gates, and maintain the homestead. And the homestead is actually decked out with all its period furniture, and it's actually on loan from the National Trust of Victoria. Great. They loan the furniture. So when you walk through the homestead up there,
all original.
It's all original furniture and so forth. So
really, it's a step back in time, isn't it?
Now here's your chance to win a 3-piece set of Cyberlight luggage valued at over $800, courtesy of Antler, the champions of lightweight luggage, and $2,000 worth of all-natural, organic-rich luxury skincare products for mum and baby, courtesy of Aroma Baby. There's also a complete on-location or studio photography shoot, courtesy of Gainsborough, that also includes a 16-inch wall portrait art piece, a black stand-up folio, and 4 individual prints in white presentation mounts valued at over $1,100. Simply visit kidslifetv.com.au, enter your details and tell us in 25 words or less why you would like to win these fantastic prizes.
Kids Life. Manuel is joining us now. Tell us, why did you decide to do a photo shoot in your own home?
Well, Marley, we've just recently built our home and we wanted to really get a feel of having the family at home and really enjoying the new house. So we thought it was a perfect environment for us to take the photos in.
Absolutely. And give our viewers some advice. What were you looking for when you chose a photographer?
Well, from us, it was someone that is a person who really likes quality, someone who can connect with us as well. So with Steve, we actually found that we've been dealing with him for many, many years, and we've appreciated his service and quality, and we always get great shots.
Fantastic, that's what we like to hear. Manuel, thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
It's time to move on and get some great parenting advice from Michael Gross. Welcome back to Kids Life. Today we're talking about teasing with Michael Gross from Parenting Ideas. Thanks for joining us, Michael.
Thanks for the invitation.
Now, first up, I just want to ask you, is there a difference between teasing and bullying?
Yeah, there is. There's a fine line between teasing and bullying. Bullying basically is very much that repetitive, intentional behaviour. It can be verbal or non-verbal. Teasing we really talk about is very much a verbal thing, but teasing when it becomes bullying is very much it's intentional, it's repetitive, and it's also about lack of power. So when a child actually just hasn't got any power, just can't get their way out of it, no matter what I do, no matter what I say, I still keep copying this, then that's not teasing anymore, that's moved into bullying. And teasing is more that two-way thing. It's not repetitive, it's not necessarily this intentional thing, it just happens over a period of time, and it's more a two-way thing.
Yeah, I mean, teasing has been around for ages and it probably won't ever go away. Is there a way to minimise it for kids?
Yeah, look, it becomes part of the culture at home. I think as adults in the lives of kids, we actually set the sort of cultural boundaries, and sometimes we can encourage teasing by teasing ourselves. So we really established in our home that this is, I guess, a no put down place, that we don't put each other down. We can in jest, but not in a serious way. And again, there's always that fine line between jest and seriousness. But I refer to teasing as often put downs. And a put down is something which is personal, which is about the way you look, the way, it might be your weight, your appearance, it might be about your performance as well. But it's a very personal thing. And I draw the line between the jesting and the put down when it really is quite personal.
Sure.
So I think as parents we need to establish that, we need to talk about that with kids, and very much say, no, I disagree with that, you can't talk to your brother like that because that's a real put down. And the tester is would you like to be told that? Yeah. Would you like her to talk? Yeah. Would you like me? And often if the kids will say no, well that's a sign that it's a put down. Look, it can be wary. There is a point, there's some of this we've got to let go, because kids will jockey and banter between themselves, and we can't be involved in everything. And it's not healthy either. We don't want to be involved in the minutiae of their lives. But there's certain things we need to be fairly aware of, and if this is repetitive type stuff and it becomes too much, then I think we need to put a stop at it, particularly when it's about appearance, or particularly if it's directed at the weight of a person, or particularly if one of the kids has got fairly low self-esteem and not doing well at school, and all of a sudden the other kids say they're dumb or whatever it is, then that child needs some protecting, and you need to go in and say, no, that's a put down, I don't want to hear that sort of stuff. And I think sometimes we need to be what I call assertively angry. We've got to have that controlled anger, and we save it for those important things. And to me, a put down is one of those times when we actually let them know you've gone too far.
Do children tend to hide being teased or bullied from their parents, or do you find they're quite open about it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Some kids will hide it, particularly if they think that you're suddenly going to take the whole issue out of their hands. This is more so with bullying. We know that research tells us that if they're being picked on and they go home and tell mum, and mum soon goes up to the school straight away and takes it out of their hands, then they're more likely to keep it to their chest. So we've got to play that sort of stuff quite carefully. And sometimes kids don't want their parents to think they're not coping. If you're not coping well in your own life sometimes as a parent, sometimes the kids will actually hide that from you, and so they won't let you know that they're being teased, and they'll keep that to their chest. I think then as a parent we need to be looking out for the signs, and sometimes the signs are the kids keep to themselves, or they act quite differently and out of character, so you need to be aware of those signs.
Sure. Is there a certain type of child that gets teased more than others or bullied more than others?
Yeah, again, but teasing and bullying are a couple of different things. Some kids are more likely to be bullied than others if they wear their heart in their sleeves, or they look different, they act different, or sometimes they, unfortunately, they'll say things which the group will really pick up on. Some kids, so that's the bullying, the kids are more likely to be bullied, so I think we as parents need to be aware of that with those kids. Teach them not to wear their heart in the sleeves, teach them sometimes to keep things to themselves, get them to act in a confident way. We know that kids often who are bullied at school are the ones who have their head down, they don't look confident, so we can actually teach them to look more confident, and also to build up their social skills and their social circle, so they need a group of friends around them. For those kids who are teased sometimes, well, different kettle of fish, sometimes they actually ask for it, sometimes they're involved in it. So you need to, my notion is if your child's being teased, get a clear picture of what's happening. What is happening, and get the kids to tell you who says what, when, try and get a picture of it, and it'll give you an idea of how to play it and which way to go. Try and find out if your child's doing anything to cause it. And sometimes they can actually be involved in it, and very much what they're saying or doing or looking can actually keep that behaviour going. So let your kids know if they've got a place in it. And in some ways you can build up their defensive skills as well. And their defensive skills may be to give them a clever line to use, or to disengage, or to turn away if need be, is not to bite back. When the kids will say something and tease you, it might be, well, go and find a friend. Move away from them. Who can you go and talk to when this happens? And that's one of the range of defensive skills you can work with kids. But of course, the first is you've actually got to find out what's happening and get a fairly clear picture.
And you find that out from teachers? Do you talk to teachers or other parents?
Yeah, I think you talk with your kids, actually, for a start. And if they keep it to their chest, well, talk to others. Sometimes the other siblings in a family will know. They'll know far more than often what they'll let on. So talk to them, but try and get that clear picture from whichever place you can.
Fantastic. Great advice. Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
We are talking luggage with Antler, the champions of lightweight luggage. Now, Keats, there's an old saying in travel, don't wait for your case to break before you replace it. You don't want your underwear all over the tarmac.
That's right, not a good look.
Not a good look. So let's talk about some of the attributes of a modern case.
First one being this TSA approved combination lock. Now, no one's getting in here unless you want them to.
Very important. And let's not forget the durable design and, of course, 4 wheels for ease of manoeuvring through the airport.
But probably one of the best things I think for the regular traveller is the 10-year warranty.
Very, very important. Now, if you want more information, jump onto antlerluggage.com.au.
Kids Life.
Joining us now is Vanessa from Gainsborough Studio. Vanessa, tell us about some of the benefits of organising a photo shoot in your very own home.
I suppose the main thing is how relaxed everyone is. It's in your own environment, you're all comfortable here, you're here every day. So especially for younger kids, they might be a little bit nervous going into a studio, which is a bit of an unfamiliar environment. So here, they love it. They know exactly what they like here.
And what length of time do you need to allocate for a successful photo shoot?
We allow up to an hour, so some of them take a little bit less if the children are a little bit older and happy to smile. Sometimes if they're children, we need a nappy change or a feed in there, but there's plenty of time to do different combinations. So today we did the whole family together, we did mum and dad together and the kids together as well. So they have a really nice set together and we can definitely get that done within the hour for sure.
And what areas of the house are most popular to shoot in?
Probably the living room or a family room, something like that, mainly because there's normally really big, beautiful windows in there, and of course we look for lighting as number one. There's a couch in there normally as well, so everyone feels nice and comfy on the couch there. But yeah, mainly the lighting is the main thing, and also a simple background. So if there's lots of clutter in the background, it can make the photograph look a little bit messy, and you tend to be looking in the background rather than looking at everyone's faces.
And what about clothing? Are there particular colours that you'd suggest people go for with certain backgrounds?
Not so much. We find that at homes normally most people tend to stay reasonably safe and stick to lighter coloured backgrounds, but we say to do simple colours and simple clothing, so not too much pattern and not too many colours all in together. The boys today have done cool colours all together, and the girls have done nice simple dresses as well, so that looks nice together while everyone's still individually themselves.
Terrific. Vanessa, thank you so much for your time.
Not a problem.
It's time to move on with the show now as we take a look at the Bali Safari and Marine Park, a must-see destination when you're in Bali.
Now, here's a place in Bali that's sure to keep the whole family entertained during your next holiday visit. It's the Bali Safari and Marine Park. Now, there's so much to do here that you may need more than just a day to make the most of the entertainment on offer. My favourite would have to be the interactive and up-close photo opportunities with the wild animals of the Bali Safari and Marine Park. Make sure you check the show times for the Animal Education Show that's full of family fun and interesting information about some of the local Indonesian animals within the park. Now, one of the newest attractions at the Bali Safari and Marine Park is the Night Safari. Here you can enjoy an included cocktail, DJ and a surprise visit from a friend or two. Then it's all aboard the stand-up enclosure as the sun sets and the animals of the night pay you an up-close and personal visit. During the 30-minute safari, you have the opportunity to feed the animals and take a few photos that will truly leave you with a lasting memory or two. After the safari, you're invited to enjoy a delicious barbecue buffet. It's also worth booking an evening stay at the Mara River and Safari Lodge to top off the evening, where you'll awake the next morning to the sounds of the wild while enjoying a morning swim in the pool. It's all here at the Bali Safari and Marine Park.
Well, that's all we have time for this week on Kids Life. Be sure to check out our website, kidslifetv.com.au, where you'll find segments from our show and so much more. It's bye from us here on location in Adelaide with Gainsborough Studio. We'll see you next week.